Is the time right to buy an electric vehicle? Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Kia is Head of Corporate Communications and Public Relations, James Bell. Hi, James.
Hi, Fred. Thanks for having me on today.
I like the scenery you've got there. And
Yes.
you've got a great history, not just at Kia, where you've been for nearly a decade. You've also been part of the teams at GM and Kelley Blue Book. So you
That's
have
right.
some pretty deep experience here. Give us
It-
your assessment of the sentiment for EVs today.
Oh, fantastic question. This is going to be fun. Um, it's historic. We are living through an amazing transition. I mean, for myself in the auto industry, I'm here talking about a revolution in how people are going to move themselves around, as opposed to a new paint color or a new 8-speed transmission or something like that. We're talking about an absolute revolution in transportation, probably similar to what it must have been like between horse-drawn carriages and gasoline-powered cars. I'm sure that was a bumpy road, so to say, with lots of curves, and didn't happen overnight. It wasn't suddenly we had gas stations popping up all over the place. It took some time. And I'm sure there was a lot of people who said back then, as we hear about people say for gasoline today, never giving up my horse. Horse is the only way to go. Well, just like that transition proved to be strong and everything moved to internal combustion, the move from internal combustion to electric will happen similarly. But I think it's going to happen faster. And the reason being is that the investment is incredible. Not only from the car companies, which by the way, there's not a single car company on the planet today that's investing money in a brand new gasoline powered engine. We're continuing to make them. They're not going away tomorrow, but we're only working on making them more affordable, more durable, better fuel efficiency. We're making them better, but we're not building an all new one. It's all the money's going into electrification, not only of the vehicle itself and the battery pack and to make sure they're efficient as possible, but also in the infrastructure to allow charging to be available readily, easily for many people. And so all that being said, I feel like we're in a real historic time, and I feel very fortunate to be in this industry at this time.
And we can't help but notice that you're at a Tesla charging station with a
Good.
Kia.
Yes, it is. It felt a little strange when we parked here, but it feels right at home already, and I'm almost done with my charge, so that's even better.
Terrific. So tell us about things like range anxiety, convenience, and cost. It seems
Yeah.
like there's still quite a bit of misinformation out there. With the social networks, somebody posts something and who knows where it goes.
I know misinformation is a thing, but it was also earned misinformation because the electric vehicle kind of came crashing through the wall with vehicles that maybe had 100 miles of charge, a range, I should say, on a charge. Charging stations weren't readily as available as they are today. The cost of them was higher than people were maybe ready to spend. So there were a couple of things that were pushing against them. And to your point, social media, people, people who would have been excited to keep their horses 120 years ago, now feeling the same way about keeping their gasoline powered cars. That's all fine and good. The point is that it's different now. Between the range of electric vehicles at lots of different price points. I mean, I think about our Kia EV4, which is coming out early next year. It's going to have over 300 miles of range. It's going to have all the latest technology and all the connectivity. It looks great. Looks like you're seeing, a glimpse into the future. Very efficient, very comfortable, and priced about $35,000. The same EV just a couple of years ago would have been a $70,000 car. So the prices are coming down. The technology is getting better. The availability of charging was more common. And which, by the way, the average EV driver today charges at home better than 80% of the time. So, okay, if you can charge at home, that's great. But maybe you live in an apartment, maybe you live in an area where you can't charge at home. It's good to know that there's public charging popping up more and more commonly in more and more places.
It sounds like you've had some personal experience with the EV line now,
I have.
and your thoughts about it, having worked in this industry for so long.
The easiest way to describe it, Fred, is that once you go electric, you think, wow, what was I doing having a gasoline powered car for so long? And here's a little perfect example of why EV life is so good. How many times have you arrived at home, glanced at the fuel gauge on your car and said, I should have got gas before I parked. Well, that's okay, I'll get it in the morning. Okay? Then the next morning comes, you're struggling to find your keys, you're late, you're just not on the schedule you wanted. You get in the car, I forgot I got to get gas too. Then you know, the blood pressure is increasing already, and you haven't even left your house. Well, if you have an electric vehicle and you can charge at home, which again, 80% of the time people are doing that, the idea of leaving your house with a full tank of gas, so to say, a full state of charge every day is incredibly luxurious. It's very relaxing. And I think that's the biggest part. I only go to gas stations now if I want a Gatorade or find a snack, you know, and it's a quick visit because generally those places aren't very nice. So between just the simplicity of the electric vehicle lifestyle and the growing, you know, opportunities for a public charging, it's becoming a pretty clear choice. And if somebody's fighting that, they're fighting a losing battle. Let's just say that.
We talked about the misinformation, but there are still a
Yeah.
lot of people out there who say, oh, it's going to take an hour or 2 hours to charge the vehicle if I'm on the road. That ain't so, right?
Not at all. That's a person who's not been paying attention, for lack of a better term. And by the way, it was that way 6, 7 years ago. It's not today. Our electric vehicles, this Kia EV6 over my shoulder here, on a high-speed charging will go from 10% to 80% state of charge in about 15 minutes. And I challenge any of your listeners that if you are, next time you're at the gas station, set a clock and see how long you're there. We have this sense that we, you know, walk in and you're back on the road in a minute and a half. No, you're putting in the nozzle, you're going to wash the windows, you're going to get a burrito or a Gatorade in the station, you're stretching your legs. It's a 10 to 15 minute operation. So I think once you know, again, it's all about information, having the right information, and there's just some undeniable facts. High-speed charging gets you back on the road quicker. Having the accessibility to charging all around the country gets you back on the road quicker, and the cost is much lower. Even using public charging, like a Tesla station, like where I am today, is generally a third to half less than it would be to drive a gasoline-powered car. So you're saving money and time and stress all at one time.
Terrific. And it's clear that Kia has a big commitment to EVs. For more info, where should folks go?
Well, you make a great point. Yes, Kia is very, very deeply involved and wants to be a leader in this space. And so I would recommend going to kia.com. And the reason being is you can look at the vehicles like the EV4 and you know, see the future of electrification. But then also we have a section there on the website that kind of just defines what a fascinating time this is, how this industry has changed, how it's changing, and how it's only going to become more and more convenient and affordable for so many American drivers.
Terrific. James Bell, thanks for spending time with us.
Oh, my pleasure, friend. Thank you.